CFM Radio.
CFM Radio, Thursday edition.
Yes, indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back and we are live. CFM Radio is here with your weekly dose of video game music and news. What's up, Vector?
What's up, Drix? Video game music and news. If you like video games, you like music, you like news, or you like a combination of all three, why don't you just smash that like button, hit the subscribe, and you know what? Let us know let us know if you have a request or how you're feeling.
Yeah, I know the combination of video game music and news I haven't seen anywhere else on YouTube or the rest of the internet. Makes me feel amazing, like the amazing Ryu, aka Ninja Gaiden, a version of the song we're listening to right now.
And I unfortunately have not been able to play the new Ninja Gaiden. I want to pick it up, but I do have fond memories of both 2D and 3D Ninja Gaiden because I am a big fan of Ninja Gaiden Black.
Yeah, I'm always getting my ninjas mixed up, my Shinobis and my Ninja Gaidens and my Tenchus, you know?
Right. My Fuba ninjas, my Iga ninjas.
Yes, my N+.
N+.
Yeah, 360 arcade.
That's a good shit.
Yup.
And you know what else is pretty interesting? And we're just going to start off the show with this one. I'll drop it. Oh, it's going to be popping up on the screen in just a second here. But, Drix, I couldn't believe this when I saw it. Could you? The Steam Machine.
Yes, from the straight out of the Daft Punk song Steam Machine. You know, also one more time as far as Valve hardware goes,
yeah.
Right?
One more time. .mp4. Like, it is absolutely the second go around that Valve is cracking with hardware, and this time they're bringing the big guns. They've got a new VR, which I actually think is the most impressive out of all the new hardware.
Yeah, it's like competing with the Apple Vision almost, right?
And you know what? It doesn't look like a big box I put on my head, so you're already way ahead.
Yeah, that's the thing about where VR technology is at, is like how comfortable is it to wear that thing for like 2 to 4 hours at a time, right? And will it hurt your eye holes?
Right, and I definitely am not into it, but I know people who are, and even most VR enthusiasts, they tell me that it is not a pleasant long-term playing experience. But this new Steam VR, the Steam, I guess, I don't forget what they call it, exoskeleton, whatever that shit is. Like,
yeah,
it looks good because it's lightweight. You know, you don't look like a TV head, right?
Yeah, exactly. Like the I don't know, Bomb Rush Cyberpunk.
Yeah,
character or something.
Absolutely. Hit the nail right on the head. I will say though, Drix, when it comes to the rest of the package that Valve is offering, I'll just say it right now. I'm not jumping up and down. I actually think there was a reason why Valve got out of the hardware business, and I think we're about to learn it again.
Yeah, we'll see, you know, not only what's under the hood as far as horsepower, but the price point, really. Yeah. Like, what am I getting for what I'm paying, and how many other possibly better options are there out there?
Because I think one of the main things, like, one of the things that I get when I see this ad, you're seeing it on the screen, but when I see this ad, one of the things that it reads to me is that they expect me to buy all of this.
Yeah, right? And it's cool. I like the idea of, like, this is a gaming ecosystem. Like, this is what Xbox wishes it could be. And they could probably taken some notes, you know?
Yeah, but my whole thing is, really, when I bring it down to brass tacks, Drix, I can't see myself buying the box, the deck, a VR, and anything else. If anything, I would rather get the VR and the deck.
Yeah, some combination of maybe two of them at most.
And exactly, and here's the thing that is deal breaker for me, right? That you see on the screen, the little box dancing with the controller. Those two things are the deal breaker for me, and it's not because the controller looks stupid. It's not because the box looks small and I don't trust the thermals. None of that shit. It's all to me about price.
Yeah. At the end of the day, it's can I afford this? Will I have to eat ramen noodles for a month or two just so I can have this new high-tech thing?
Exactly. Not just that. Do I actually think, with the current specs that we know of this little box, that this thing is actually going to be as powerful as a PlayStation 6 or one of the new Xboxes? The new super premium, remember, Xbox.
Yeah. Quadruple A, next generation.
Yeah. Like, I don't... The controller, for maybe all of its ergonomic faults, I don't think so. I actually think the controller looks good. Valve usually makes good controllers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they want you to, feel like you're a step above an actual mouse and keyboard, right?
My whole thing with it, though, Drix, is I think that controller looks expensive. A pair of Joy-Cons is damn near $100, and I think this controller is going to push that into the $100 range. You're already paying nearly $200 for your Xbox Pro controller and the PlayStation Edge controller. So you're both of those at I think they're like $180 price points, $175 price points. I wouldn't be surprised if that Steam controller alone is $100.
Yeah, no, I would not be shocked. Because there's a lot of high-tech stuff in there, and you never know where tariffs are going to be by the time it launches, right?
Yeah. And I think that's going to be that's one of the main things. And I'll mention the big point, and then we'll move on. Is that I think if you are, funny enough, if you're that little box is going to be perfect for you if you're an emulation enthusiast.
Oh yeah, the Linux operating system, just made to be modded, right?
Absolutely, it's made to be modded. And if this thing doesn't play Game Pass out of the box, then God knows it's going to be playing Game Pass within I'll give it 2 months.
Yeah, thanks to the modding community. Bless them and their free labor.
Yeah, seriously. So then that's the main thing, is that when you look at the specs and you actually take a critical look at them, you listen to Digital Foundry, you listen to IGN, you listen to Gamers Nexus, they put a nice little coat of sugar on it. But when it comes down to brass tacks, this thing is about as powerful as a laptop seemingly about as powerful as a laptop from 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah, which means you could get something similar, probably at a lower price.
Yeah, and at this point, I as a casual viewer of Valve and what they do, and I never really bought into the first Steam machine. I never really bought into the first Steam controllers. Unfortunately, I do regret that. But I look at this and I'm like, am I paying for a brand name? Because I could probably go on to the Dell clearance website right now, because they say there's no price, so they say it's the pricing should be comparable to a quote unquote entry level PC, and so that is, I don't know what that means.
Yeah, that could be anything, entry level gaming or entry level Pixar movie making.
See, there's a lot that, and with an anemic GPU. And I only say that because it is about God, it's 8 gigabyte VRAM, so that's less than a PS5.
Yeah. So, pick your battles and your purchases in turn.
So it's interesting. It's a fun little olive branch, I think, for the PC crowd. But I think ultimately, I don't know who this is for, because as someone who has a mid-grade PC that's honestly okay to stream games with. I'll stream my single-player games on this, and I'll play Balatro, and then I have my PS5 to play my higher-end games.
Yeah, I mean, we were saying a little bit before the show, it might be perfect for people who want, couch co-op for their entire Steam library.
I think that is going to be one of the things that could really make this a prolific or a something that people would want, because there are a few Steam games that are quote-unquote couch co-op or local co-op, and they are all relatively impractical to play on a PC, in a PC environment.
You know, you can't fit 2 to 4 people behind like your desk in your office space at home, right?
Yeah, or and I don't know, man. You know, you try to put these PC games on a TV, and they really just don't look right.
Yeah, that's a thing that happens.
Some of them are fine. I will say that some of them are fine, but the ones that are clearly made to be played, like you just said, like at a workstation, like the more prolific ones, these indie games, right? Like, they don't really translate to the large TV screen well.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think if this thing it managed to sell around 1 million units, that could, Drix, I think you're right, and I think it could ignite, like, hey, you know, we'll be able to play we used to think that Street Fighter on the PC was kind of lame to play locally, but now that we've got this little box that could play Street Fighter 6 anywhere, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, could be pretty sweet, especially you know, depending on the size of your Steam library, which we all know can be pretty vast.
Yeah, and if it's not vast, just go buy a couple Humble Bundles or Fanatical Bundles. You'll get there.
Yeah, second only to my Nintendo 64 collection.
Seriously. But that's kind of what's going on with the Steam machine. We wanted to make a quick touch on that because, I mean, we even though it is fun to like kick Xbox when they're down, right? It is kind of funny, like, haha, these guys can't do anything right. But, you know, at the same time, there's a reason why they're in the position that they're in, and I don't think Steam is ready to fill those shoes quite yet, or Valve. I don't think they're ready to fill those shoes quite yet. And my main evidence is they've done this before and it didn't work out. They went the 3DO route.
Yeah, it's like they're trying to rush out something that will fill any gap that, you know, the Xbox leaving the market will create, you know, by 2026.
And it's kind of an interesting thing to think about, because especially with the specs being how they are.
Yeah, exactly. Entry level budget PC price, whatever that might be.
Whatever that means, whatever that could mean.
Open to interpretation. And you know, what kind of journalists would we be if we didn't throw a little bit of shade to other companies that deserve it, not just keep Microsoft in our scope, you know? Yeah,
seriously. Well, I mean, that's the whole thing, right? Is that like you could see where this has gone wrong before. And again, you could listen to Gamers Nexus and Digital Foundry, and they kind of put a nice little bow on it. But even they have to say, fuck, I think they're the ones who said that the GPU, Digital Foundry, are the ones who said that the GPU was anemic. So that's kind of a damning sentiment coming from the people who evaluate hardware.
Yeah, a little bit.
So that's that, and I think when push comes to shove, there will be an audience for it, just like how there was audience for those Steam machines before. But if this thing, I'll say it like this: if this thing sells 1 million units, I'll be surprised.
Yeah, and you know, might spark some indie game developers to cape to those million sales if there's a million of these.
That definitely. It definitely would incentivize something like that. I think that's the best case scenario, especially when you think about old Phil Spencer's quote-unquote goal of growing the industry.
Yeah, they're just really trying to pull a flex on Xbox and put them in their place, hopefully.
Yeah, because breaking the barrier of couch co-op to a PC audience that really only knows online play is a big deal.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with that, I do believe we will move on, and I don't really have appropriate B-roll for it, so I'm just going to play some Dragon Ball Squadra. We're talking about Todd Howard, funny enough. Another brief segment we'll do before we take a break. But Todd Howard, he talked to GQ, Gentleman's Quarterly, Drix.
Yeah, Todd Howard's quite the gentleman, right?
Hey, you know what, Todd Howard? He is a a personality.
Yeah, absolutely. Gamer, maybe not so much.
He actually is a gamer, because right here, I'll start off this this segment with a good roll, where, you know what, Todd Howard definitely is a gamer, because right here in the GQ article, they ask him what games is he playing, and Drix, it's gonna be funny, because you know what, at least I thought it was funny. So what game do you think he's playing?
I don't know, Starfield or Diablo 4.
He does say I'm playing our own games. There are so many. But, quote, in between that, I do play college football. It sounds ludicrous coming from me, but when someone doesn't want to make a sequel to a game you want, you really miss it. I miss that game dearly, unquote. And Drix, this is directly following up with what he said about a year ago while talking about Starfield. He just wants college football.
Yeah, and it's giving very Texas.
Yeah. But I do think we got to cut to the meat and potatoes of this thing right here, right? This is what we're all here for. Because the interview question is, how does it feel to be making the Elder Scrolls game again?
Ooh, yeah, give it to me, Todd.
Quote, I do like to have a break between them, where it isn't like a, quote, +1 sequel. I think it's also good for an audience to have a break. The Elder Scrolls has been too long, let's be clear. But we wanted to do something new with Starfield. We needed a creative reset.
Yeah. Okay. You know.
And I respect that.
Yeah, give your works of art that you release a little bit of time to simmer, find an audience, and maybe a couple patches here or there.
So, and honestly, I know Starfield gets a bad rap, but there are times when I go back. Starfield was one of the games that I kept my Game Pass subscription for, specifically because of how well it played on a streaming platform. And I actually did really enjoy it as an RPG. I thought it took me back to the old school style of RPG, where I really needed to think about what I wanted to do and plan a character as I was encountering the perils and trials that the game was throwing at me. I really needed to not only I felt like I needed to think on the fly, but I really needed to think how my character would develop in this world. So Starfield, to this day, I think is definitely one of the better games of that year. I understand why people who like it really, really like it, and I also understand why people who don't like it don't like it. But Drix, I gotta ask you a question. Do you like Fallout 4?
I did for a time when I was playing it. I rather enjoyed Fallout 4 and its wacky, crafty business.
Because here's a question that they had, and I don't think it rubbed fans like me of New Vegas the right way, but GQ asks, quote, is there anything you look back on most fondly about making Fallout 4?
Oh yeah, an absolute lead up to the promo plug, right?
Yeah, at this point, the infamous promo plug.
Yep.
And here's Todd's response, quote, going from Oblivion to Fallout 3 to Skyrim to Fallout 4, each one bigger than the last, each winning game of the year. I never took that for granted. Whenever I think about the projects, I picture the groups, years and years of your lives together. It's a bonding experience, but I had been going really hard for a long time. I took a sabbatical after Fallout 4 for like 3 months. I hadn't taken a break in 20 years.
Right.
And like, here's the thing, right? We love to rib Todd Howard because we love New Vegas and he hates New Vegas, right? But
yeah.
We also give him credit where it's due. He is one of the few remaining, I should say, visionaries left in the industry, as far as I'm concerned. Like,
yeah, one of the ones that Microsoft didn't close the studio for, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Hey, he killed their MMO, right? But like, it's really interesting to think about when Todd has a vision, even if that vision isn't one that, let's say you and I would put in a high regard, right? He makes it come together exactly the way he wants it.
Yeah, you know, he's got a vision, and he's got the team and the resources to make it happen.
And like, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. I wouldn't say anything like, oh man, like most of the time people do, or sometimes people don't agree with him. A, if it wasn't true, and B, because it leads into this line of questioning, which is, what is the best from the interview? What is the best game you've worked on? And Todd says, I think Fallout 3 has the best opening. I think Starfield has by far the best gunplay and gameplay in areas. I think the varied landscape of Fallout 76 is really good. Tonally and player agency-wise, I think Skyrim is really good. I also see all the things that either didn't resonate with fans or fans may not have noticed. Follow-up question. Do you have any examples of that? He says no. You don't have any because you don't know or because you don't want to give them to me? I don't want to give them to you.
David Lynch, can you explain this to us? No.
But he does. That's what's funny is he does, because he says this, the interviewer asked, this comes back to your point about not liking talking about your games. Why not? And then Todd, humble as he is, I don't know. I'll give you one. We spent forever on the dialogue system in Fallout 4. How do we do an interactive conversation in an interesting way? How do we make it gamey? But it really did not resonate. It was hard on our designers to write that way. Players want to roleplay more, and we had a voiced protagonist. The actors were phenomenal, but a lot of the players were like, that's not the voice I hear in my head.
Screw the audience. The people don't know what they want.
They don't know what they want. As Shigeru Miyamoto says, the people, they don't know what they want.
They don't know what they want. They don't know anything.
I
don't do this to make you happy. I do this to make me happy.
To make me happy, right?
It's my art. You just get to play it.
It is so funny to me that Todd straight up is like, hey, listen, dude, I get that no one liked the dialogue system in Fallout 4. It was even hard for us to write it that way. But that's how it was.
Yep. We worked really hard on it, and still people didn't like it.
People didn't like it. And hey, you know what? You gotta respect a guy when he comes out and he admits it, at least in a way like that, right? He's clearly proud of the work. He just hates the fact that people didn't like it.
Yeah, I mean, man, you gotta strike out sometimes, right? Can't always hit that.
Hey, it was only Game of the Year, right, Drix?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's still one Game of the Year, and that we can be proud of.
It was only Game of the Year. Either way, anyway, we're gonna come back with new releases. We'll be back soon. What are we listening to, Drix?
Right now, we are hearing NBA Jam for the Super Nintendo. This is the main theme.
Main theme, NBA Jam. Remember to like and subscribe if you like to jam with us. CFM Radio, we are back.
We are back, of course, with some sweet video game music. That was Gran Turismo 2, a song called From the East.
From the Beast.
Yeah, we've got one of the new releases is a bit from the East, but as always, every week here we are telling you what's coming out this week, what you can buy and play.
The Beast from the East, because Drix, these games, they just don't stop coming. It's that time of year.
Yeah, man. It's Q4 is kicking into high gear, right?
It's kicking into high gear. And speaking of kicking, we got one for everybody who loves their football. It is Inazuma 11 Victory Road.
Yeah, the only thing better than a sports anime is a video game based on a sports anime that you can play.
And honestly, Inazuma 11, long-running franchise. And from the Steam page, quote, the latest entry in the character collection and football simulation RPG series, Inazuma 11, with an original story featuring new main characters, over 5,400 players from across the series' history to collect and train, as well as exciting online tournaments. You could play the game your way.
Wow. That's a lot of anime kids.
That's a lot of anime. That's a lot of soccer.
Oh, yeah. Time to get kicking.
And you guys can get kicking today because Inazuma 11 Victory Road releases today. And that's Thursday, November 13th, for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, Nintendo Switch, and Switch 2.
Yeah, all over the place so you can play anywhere.
With anyone. Unless they're Xbox One.
Yeah, sorry. One's got to get left in the dust.
But next, we have a new title releasing tomorrow. And this one is called Where Winds Meet.
Ah, yes. Let us return to ancient China.
Where Winds Meet, here it is from the Steam page, quote, it is an epic wuxia open-world action-adventure RPG set in ancient China at the 10th century. Players will assume the role of a young sword master as they embark on a journey to uncover the mysteries of their own identity. Let the wind carry your legend on an epic journey to the east.
Yeah, let's crouch your tigers and hide your dragons, everybody. There's going to be some sweet swordplay going on here.
Absolutely, because the game releases tomorrow, February, Jesus, thinking in the future, Friday, November 14th for PC and PS5. This is one of them pseudo-exclusive tricks.
Yeah, and you're going to have the current gen hardware for this one because it is looking beautiful.
Absolutely. But here's one. Our next one is a big deal. And funny enough, it runs on pretty much everything.
Wow. Man, I didn't even get around to playing the last installment in this franchise.
Indeed, because, of course, we have to talk, Drix, about everybody's favorite. I mean, maybe not a lot of people bought Battlefield, but people like this one too, I guess. It's Call of Duty. Oh, sorry about blasting. But there's Call of Duty Black Ops 7, Drake. Can you believe it?
Yeah. Black Ops the 7th.
The 7th. I can hardly believe that.
Yeah, just keep them coming. I guess, this is their new Madden annual franchise, right?
Playable on Game Pass, and from the official website, quote, the biggest Black Ops ever. Call of Duty Black Ops 7 will immerse players into a reality-shattering gameplay experience, all built upon the signature foundation of what makes Black Ops so beloved, featuring a co-op campaign, a slew of multiplayer modes, and the beloved Zombies mode.
Yeah, can't wait to shoot the undead once again.
Call of Duty Black Ops 7 releases tomorrow for PC, PS4, PS5, Xbox Series consoles, and Xbox One.
Aha,
Didn't leave out old Xbox One this time.
Not this time. It's Microsoft, baby.
Yeah. And, playable day one on Game Pass.
On Game Pass.
Game Pass subscribers who stuck around after the recent price hike.
Yeah, you know what? Your $30 per month, well spent, I suppose.
Yeah, this is probably the one you were waiting for.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, you know what? Push comes to shove, Drix. You could always flip that boy on for a month and give it a shot.
Yeah, get your Black Ops 7 fix and just make sure it's the Black Ops you want to be playing.
Yes. Make sure it's your Black Ops.
Yep.
But you know what, Drix? We're going to take a break, but before we do, I wanted to give a quick round of impressions, not on Call of Duty Black Ops. No. We're not that important here. But I did manage to sneak my way into the Kirby Air Riders beta. Or the test ride, I should say.
Everybody's favorite ability copying anthropomorphic pink ball is back and ready to race and battle.
And that's pretty much what we were doing in this test ride, Drix. We were just battling because while the air ride racing mode was playable, it was only playable offline. So the main online mode was this. It is the city trial, and that's not to say that the city trial does not have a bunch of modes. If you're watching the B-roll, you see the city trial is mainly one where you're running around a large city. It's from the first game, but they've also added in these new little mini games that could happen. Like I'm in an arena right now. You could go into a race. The race could be a drag race. The race could be a circuit race. It could be a bunch of different things, or it could be a battle arena like you're seeing. There could be like a sort of trial, like a ring trial, like flying.
Yeah, sounds like you got a lot to do in the sort of same map that we were going over when Nintendo was showcasing this during their Direct.
Yeah, there's a lot to do in here. And so quick, the main thing is that you essentially want to build the best machine. And as you can see when you're watching the B-roll, you see me picking up all these little power-ups of different kinds. They kind of look Bomberman-esque. So when you pick up these power-ups, they allow you to give your machine that you're using a permanent boost. And you're seeing it on the screen now. There's a lot of characters. There's a lot of different machines. And they all have their own stat lines. And the thing that happens in the city trial mode is that these stats, or you start out only with your main character stats, and you have a warp star vehicle. And there are vehicles scattered all around the arena, so you can go get new vehicles at will. And more vehicles trickle in and out. The funny thing is you can lose your vehicle. If you lose your vehicle, it blows up out from under you, and you have to literally run on foot to find a new one.
Yes, that sounds like fun.
It is pretty funny. And it's jarring when it happens, because sometimes you'll be in the middle of a brawl and you don't even know it, and like you're hitting your supposed ally, and then all of a sudden your machine blows up and you're like, holy shit, what happened?
Yeah, next thing you know, you're just a Waddle Dee running around on his lonesome.
And then you can't do anything about that, but you could still get hit.
Yeah, you get knocked out.
Yes. So it's funny because at first I was kind of miffed, honestly, because I couldn't play the air ride mode and test it out for the online capabilities. But Drix, I gotta say, the city trial mode, it really kept me glued to my seat, and I lost many hours.
Yes, good. It's glad to hear. And I hope all the GameCube old heads are glad we're just getting another Kirby Air Riders.
I absolutely think that there were a lot of GameCube old heads on here because people really felt like they knew what they were doing.
Yeah, right? It's kind of like when they came out with the Tony Hawk remake, and you could just tell, like, oh, you didn't stop playing this. Or like F-Zero 99. Like, you've been playing this game since the last one, and just your skills are still on par with where they were when that game came out.
You keep a PS2 plugged in to this day. Like...
Yeah, exactly.
Like... But the one thing that I wanted to talk about, funny enough, kind of doesn't have to do with the gameplay, because honestly, this is one of those games that kind of makes me happy that I have a Switch 2. I unfortunately haven't been able to play Donkey Kong Bonanza yet, but I hear it's pretty much one of the contenders for Game of the Year. But as far as the aesthetic, as far as the presentation, as far as the gameplay, because this game can go, as in the city trials, since you can customize your machine a lot, it could go as fast or slow as you want it to, and you can control and like mix it up based on the situation. But I have to point something out. I don't know about Japanese games and how they do their betas in general. I don't know why they structure it things like this, but you could only play this beta during certain intervals.
Oh, okay. Some kind of time zone scheduling there or something, huh?
Essentially, because and it's gonna happen this Friday too, because this Friday is the next run of test rides. So if you did not get a chance to play the game and you have a Switch 2, now is the time, this Friday, tomorrow. But the time slot strict, it's for us midnight to 6 a.m.
Oh man, well no wonder I didn't get around to trying this beta.
And then the next time slot after that, I think, is like 4 p.m. to 7 p.m.
Oh, yeah, all right. A 3-hour tour.
Yeah, like, it's very strange. The last Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls beta was like this, too. And I kind of don't know why that these betas come out of Japan and you can only play them for, like, a couple hours. And then you gotta wait. And then they open back up.
Yeah. Kind of weird. I mean, you know, maybe they're just so incredibly dedicated that they're like fixing it during the downtime and then, you know, opening it up again.
And that would be cool. I actually would dig that, but I need the transparency. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. You can either confirm or deny that is what's going on.
Exactly. So
But,
Kirby Air Riders, if you didn't get the chance to play it,
what they test.
yeah, right. Well, okay. So like, I think that's part of it. I think that you're testing it for different time zones.
Yeah.
But either way, Marvel Tokon Fighting Souls, they're having another beta during December, and that is open for the whole time, for the entire weekend. So they removed theirs moving forward. Kirby Air Riders comes out on the 20th, so it doesn't really matter at that point.
Yeah.
But Kirby Air Riders, definitely cool. If you haven't checked it out, check it out. If you can make the wacky Japanese beta time slots.
Yeah. No, if you're around and have a Switch 2 handy, you're going to want to check this out.
And I definitely want to take a break because we're going to talk about Sony's financials. But Drix, what is this mellow melody?
Right now, we are coming out of Kirby's Yarn World for the Wii. A song called Flower Fields. But I'll have another track queued up for you here right quick.
CFM Radio. If you like us, give us the like. If you like jamming with us, subscribe.
CFM Radio.
We'll be back.
with her bow. No one quite knew where she came from. Sarah was never quite the quietest girl. Her attacks are loud and they're joyful, but she knew the ways of nobler men, and she knew how to enrage them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you could understay? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can understay? Today she will fight to keep her way. A rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. Sarah was never quite the wealthiest girl. Some say she lives in a tavern, but she was so sharp and quick with a bow. Arrows strike like a dragon. Sarah was never quite the gentlest girl. Her eyes were sharp like a razor, but she knew the ways of commoner men, and she knew just how to use them. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can understay? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate. She would always like to say, why change the past when you can understay? Today she will fight to keep her way. She's a rogue and a thief, and she'll tempt your fate.
Video game news.
That's right. It's time for video game news. We saved the best for last, Drix.
Yeah, back-to-back girl bops that time. Definitely for the gamer girls out there. That last song was called Sarah Was Never from Dragon Age Inquisition. And the one before that was from Sayonara Wild Hearts, a song called Mind. So we went from futuristic pop all the way back to the tavern.
Absolutely. Both good games. Dragon Age Inquisition, little bit dry on the gameplay, really good on the role play.
Oh yeah, the role that you play, as Todd Howard puts it.
Exactly. But here's the thing, Drix. We got to talk video game news because this is the part where we have to look at it and have to put on our thinking caps because they're telling you exactly what they're going to do.
Yeah, exactly. These quarterly earnings calls and super corporate boardroom financial projections and the like.
Because one of these things that I always like to emphasize in my in conversations when I'm talking to people about gaming when they like to speculate is that, well, you know, a lot of the time you could listen to these people because right here, Hiroki Totoki himself says, quote, now we'll discuss the state of the business starting from our platform business because we're going to skip around. This is a Sony quarterly, but we're going to skip out. We're going to cut it right to the PlayStation. I'll say it like this. Most sectors are doing pretty good if you're thinking about anything else. Music's doing pretty good. It's going through a bit of a rough spot, but they're about to turn the corner on some innovation. And I'll just say it like this. Movies and anime are making these guys literal trillions.
Nice. Yeah, the things that we like. I mean, they're not making Walkmen anymore, right?
Yeah, right. Seriously. But here's the thing with PlayStation itself. Quote, the number of monthly active users across all PlayStation platforms in September increased 8% compared to the same month last year to 116 billion. Million. Sorry, the translation is strange. But so 116 million, making the 8th consolidated quarter of growth compared to the same period of the previous year.
Wow. Yeah, so if you wanted to buy the dip, you know, you may have missed it, or
yeah,
you
you might have missed
hitting that corner.
Total playtime has total playhead time has also increased by 14% on compared to the same month last year and 11% on a cumulative basis since the beginning of the current fiscal year compared to the same period of the previous fiscal year, demonstrating steady growth for the platform. PlayStation Plus is providing a stable base earnings as sales on a US dollar basis increased 18% year on year. This is due to increase in